What is up, guys? Team UFOs here with another deck profile, and today I'm bringing you guys my updated Burning Abyss deck profile. This one's going to be a little different than the one that I posted last week. So the one that I posted last week, I also want to give a big thank you for, because I think yesterday, I'm pretty sure it was yesterday, we just hit like 10,000 views on it, which is crazy. I'm pretty sure that's my most viewed video that I've ever posted, and I know that I've gained a lot of subscribers out of that video. So I want to thank everyone who has subscribed after watching it. It means a lot. It's one of my favorite decks, if not my absolute favorite deck of all time. So I always I try and post a deck profile of Burning Abyss as frequently as I can on the channel when I update something. So I want to showcase you guys what I am personally playing going forwards. I think that this deck has a lot of potential. It is more of a different variation. So the first list was just pure Burning Abyss. This one is a Phantom Knight Burning Abyss variation. I think that going forwards with Phantom Rage coming out, the Phantom Knight list will definitely be the way to go. So I figured I would give you guys an update. So we're gonna hop right into this. A lot of the ratios are kind of similar to the last deck profile though. So we have 2 Seer, 2 Graph, 2 Skarm, 2 Farfa. Those are all the 2 ofs, and then the 1 of BAs is 1 Barbar and 1 Libic. I wanted to play 2 Libic, but I opted to just cut it down to 1. I was really used to playing double Libic back in like 2016 when PKFire was really dominating at that point. But I'm finding now that you don't need 2 Libic. You can just play the 1. After a lot of testing, it seems like that's the case. So I'm probably going to keep it that way, and it's currently functioning very, very well, so I can't complain. I think that overall the 2 of ratios are perfectly fine. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why don't you play 3? Well, we're playing the Phantom Knight engine. If I was playing pure Burning Abyss, then I would consider it, but even then, like pure Burning Abyss, you play more traps, so it doesn't really work out as well, to be perfectly honest, because you don't have the amount of space that you would like to. And considering Tour Guide is at 3, you basically have multiple copies of all your other Burning Abyss monsters anyways, so I don't really sweat it too much. But that's the Burning Abyss ratios that we're currently playing. And then, as I said, the Tour Guide, you gotta play triple Tour Guide. Card is just way too good not to play 3 of. Even if it gets like Veilered or Impermed or Ashed or something, you at least tried. Like it's gonna happen in the format. Like there's really nothing you can do about it. I know people get like all frustrated, like, oh, like Tour Guide, it's just gonna get hit with Veiler, Ashed, or Imperm. Well, welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! It's an excessive amount of interaction. So definitely play the 3 Tour Guide though. It's your 1 card combo starter. Then I have double Rhino Warrior. I was playing 1, and then I was playing the 2 Libic, but I found that playing the 2 Rhino is better, because Rhino and a BA monster is full combo, whereas opening like a Libic and another random BA is not. So I think that playing the Rhino Warrior at 2 is definitely a better way to go. If you wanted to, you could possibly pop 1 more card out of the deck and play a 3rd Rhino Warrior, but I think 3 is where you kind of like start to get excessive with it. So I like playing just 2 Rhino Warrior. Then our other extenders that I play for just random cards is Sea Archiver and Edge Imp Sabers. The Sea Archiver comes up a lot more frequently. If you open up your standard combo, the Sea Archiver is used to make your end board, which is typically your Phantom Knights Rusty, Bardiche, and then you have an IP Masquerena, a Anaconda, and then a Dragoon. That's all off of Tour Guide, which is really, really nuts. So yeah, that's pretty good overall. So the Sea Archiver is definitely important. The Edge Imp Sabers can be changed if you want to. I just play it in case I like draw the Sea Archiver, and even then the Sea Archiver is, you know, still live in your hand, which is pretty good. But moving on to the Phantom Knight cards, we have 3 Boots, 2 Cloak, and 1 Glove. I think that this has always been the proper ratio for this deck. I know for a while, you know, several years ago, I'm talking like 2016, people were playing 2 Gloves for a while, and I never liked playing 2 Gloves. I always thought playing 2 Gloves was really bad. It's one of the cards that like you really just don't even want to play, but you play the 1 of just to have it. So I typically stick to the 6 card ratio. Then some hand traps that we have, just triple Ash for the monsters. We'll get to other hand traps in a moment in the deck, but yeah, triple Ash is pretty good. If you want to play like Veilers or something, play Veilers. It's kind of up to you. Veiler is pretty decent considering Anaconda's a card, but whatever you guys feel comfortable with, absolutely go for it. Then we do play the Dark Magician, the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and the Red Eyes Fusion. This doesn't need a lot of explanation. It's just for your Dragoon. That's really all that it's there for. Part of your combo piece, which is really, really good. Then some other spell cards. One Foolish Burial, because this card is super graveyard heavy, so playing the One Foolish is very, very helpful. And then 3 Forbidden Droplet. This card is absolutely bonkers. This helps you play through Dragoon because the deck kind of struggles. Like if you don't open up like an Imperm or something, or if you're playing Veilers, you don't open up Veilers, then their Anaconda is just really going to hurt you. So playing the Forbidden Droplet is awesome. I really enjoy playing the Forbidden Droplet, and the fact that it also cuts the monster's attack in half is pretty good. Just being able to swing over it with your weaker monsters is awesome. So 3 Droplet and 1 Foolish is pretty standard in my opinion. Then for the trap cards, the other hand trap that we're playing, I have the 3 Imperm. Like I said, you can play Veilers if you don't want to play Ash, or if you can't afford Imperms, play Veilers in place of the Imperms. It's kind of all just up to you what you want to do, but I think that Imperm is probably the best hand trap to be playing right now overall. Ash is the most generic, obviously, but I think Imperm and Veiler are probably the best. Gamma is 50-50 because after turn 1, it's just trash, basically. Unless you're playing E-Telly, but in this deck, there's no reason to play E-Telly. So, then the other trap cards, we have 3 Fogblade and 1 Shade Brigandine. The Shade Brigandine is used in your opening combo. So is the Fogblade. You can basically end on a Fogblade in addition to that board that I mentioned before. So overall, playing these 4 Phantom Knight traps is probably your best bet. I know some people would argue just playing 2 of this, and you can. I just like playing 3. I think that 3 is just really, really good because you have ways to out your opponent's monsters to where you can actually just beat over them at that point, and then you don't have to worry about not being able to attack it or having it attack. But that is the main deck. We're going to go ahead and hop over to the extra deck. In the extra deck, we're playing 2 Dante, 1 Break Sword, 1 Levier for the rank 3 Xyz monsters. This is probably the most standard thing that you'll see. I always consider playing like another Levier, but I never end up doing it. I just don't think that it's completely necessary. So I typically just play the 1, and the 1 works perfectly fine. I don't have any issues with it, and it's part of your opening combo. So if you wanted to play a second one, technically you could. But the extra deck space is also fairly tight, so that makes it a little tricky. But then we also play the Beatrice. Gotta play that Beatrice. Card's really, really crazy. I just love this card. If you let's say you just open up like 3 random BA monsters and no way to do your combo, then you can just end on a Beatrice and basically be fine. There's nothing to really even think about at that point. It's pretty simple and straightforward. But those are the Xyz monsters that we play. Then for the fusions, I play 1 Pilgrim and 1 Dragoon. That's kind of to be expected, the Dragoon anyways. The Pilgrim is the card that I always contemplate swapping out for the Levier, but honestly, so many people don't like care about this card. Like they're not conscious of the Beatrice effect to summon it, that they'll usually just get rid of the Beatrice now, and then you're drawing cards typically off of the Pilgrim, which like I said, it comes up, but it's also there too because if your opponent is playing like Dogmatica and they use a Maximus, it's kind of just a throwaway card too that you don't have to worry about. So multiple uses out of this card, which is really cool. And for the Link monsters, we obviously have the 1 Anaconda for the Dragoon. That's pretty standard. The 1 Cherubini, gotta play the 1 Cherubini, it's part of your combo. The 1 Masquerena, the 1 Nightmare Phoenix, and the 1 Unicorn here. For our kind of like generic cards, I guess we can call them generic. Specifically, Nightmare Engine is pretty generic overall. Then we have just like our standard Link 2 lineup. You go through all 3 of these in your opening combo, so like these 3 cards are very, very important. The one that you could change is the Phoenix. If you don't want to play the Phoenix, you could play something else, but I like playing Phoenix because I think a lot of back row decks are going to be relevant this format, so definitely got to watch out for those. Then we have 1 Rusty Bardiche for our power play, I guess you could call it. This card coming back lets us end on the crazy board that we can. The other option too is that like you could play in place of the Nightmare Phoenix, you could play a Union Carrier, and then you could find a card to pop out of your main deck to play the Destruction Sword, and then you can equip Destruction Sword to this with Union Hanger, and then your opponent has no extra deck access, which is really crazy, so keep that in mind too. And then the rank 4s, I just play an Appaloosa and an access code. This doesn't really need an excessive amount of explaining. It's really good to play both of these cards. You can summon the Appaloosa off of the Masquerena too, which is really, really good. But, you know, overall, these are kind of standard Link 4 monsters, nothing to really go through. But that is the extra deck. We'll now hop over to the side. First of all, we have the best side decked hand trap right now, and that is Artifact Lancia. This plays through an excessive amount of decks, completely cuts them off to where they can't even like attempt to play. You're gonna hurt Eldritch, you're gonna hurt Invoked, you're gonna hurt Dinosaurs. There's a bunch of other like off meta decks too that you'll play against. It can hurt ABC, it'll hurt Infernoid. Like there's so many random decks that you wouldn't think of that it can hurt. So definitely keep in mind that that Lancia is a very, very powerful card. It always has been, but it seems like it keeps getting better and better over time. Then I have 3 Gamseel. This is for Dragoon, for more outs for it. If you want to play something different, you can, but I personally like playing this card. I mean, you could play Dark Ruler no more, but I really just think that Gamseel is great because it outs the Dragoon, and if you hand trap your opponent well enough, then they're only going to end on a Dragoon. Or if you hand trap them properly, I shouldn't say enough. Properly is the key term. Typically it'll work. But then we have, for our last monster in the side deck, 1 Pankratops. This is just the best going second monster that you can possibly play, to be perfectly honest. This card is just so good. I explain this in every single one of my videos. You need to play this card in your side deck. Every single side deck. I don't care what deck you're playing. It's fully worth it. Moving on to the spells that I have in the side deck. We have 3 Twin Twister and 2 Lightning Storm. I don't play Feather Duster. I don't think that it's worth playing Feather Duster. If anything, like if I had a 3rd Lightning Storm, I'd swap out a Twister for a 3rd Lightning Storm. That's honestly all that I would do. Other than that, like maybe if I played a 3rd Lightning Storm and then instead 2 Cosmics instead of Twin Twisters, but even then, like Twin Twister has synergy with your deck, so it really doesn't like make a difference. So I really like playing this ratio right now, and it's working very well because if you wipe your opponent's back row with any of these, typically you're going to be able to OTK, which is pretty nuts. Then the last card that we play, in case we know we're going first, is 3 Solemn Judgment. I think that Solemn Judgment is just an amazing going first card. Your opponent is going to try and side and stuff to counter you, or just try and, you know, OTK you, and Judgment can kind of change that to where they have no way of playing around your board, and then you basically can just poke them for game because you negated whatever card or whatever summon you needed to in order to stop your opponent from continuing their move. So that is why I'm playing Solemn Judgment. I was going to put the alties in, but I was too lazy to pull them out of my GO deck and put them in there, but that's okay. Supers are still shiny cards, so I really don't care that much, but I just wanted to show off the cards I was playing in the side deck a little bit, but like I said, I was too lazy to put the ulti judgments in. But that is the side deck, and that basically wraps up the entire deck profile for my Phantom Knight Burning Abyss deck. This deck is really, really strong. I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video and showcase the 1-card combo with Tour Guide, because I feel the need to display that. That way people can understand. So we're just going to cut over and I will show that to you guys. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the combo with this, the 1-card Tour Guide combo. This combo is also the same if you open up 1 Graph and a random BA, or Fiendish Rhino Warrior and a random BA. So there are multiple ways to get into this, but I'm just going to show you the 1-card combo because it's basically the same concept for each way of doing the combo. It's just a matter of how you open it. Personally, I think opening Rhino Warrior and a random BA is probably the best way, or Graph and a BA. But if you open up a Tour Guide, then it's also pretty decent. So you normal summon the Tour Guide effect summons the Graph. You then link them together, and you're going to make the Cherubini. Graph's effect will trigger Engrave to summon a Seer from deck. You're going to use Cherubini's effect to send a Sea Archiver from your deck to the graveyard. Sea Archiver is really, really important to this. Then you're going to link these two, and you can make the Rusty Bardiche, When it's summoned, you will get Seer's effect to summon the Cherubini back from grave to the zone that it points to. When that happens, you're going to get your Sea Archiver's effect to summon. Then you can use your Rusty's effect to send your Cloak, which will set your Brigandine. Then you're going to use the Cloak effect to search for your boots. So you control Phantom Knight, you can special the boots. You will then overlay into Levier the Sea Dragon. Levier will summon your Ancient Cloak. You can then activate your Brigandine to summon itself. Then we're going to link these two away into our Masquerena. And we will link these two away into our Anaconda. Then we're going to banish the boots from your grave to search for a Fogblade, which we can set. It doesn't really matter where you set it. I'm going to set it right here. Then you can activate your Anaconda to send Red Eyes Fusion and your Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon to summon a Dragoon. Now keep in mind, this is just off of one card, so you're still going to have other cards left in your hand that you can use for your Dragoon negations. In addition to that, you're going to be able to Masquerena into probably a Nightmare Unicorn or an Appaloosa, depending on which route you want to take. Probably the Nightmare Unicorn just for spot removal, and on top of that you have the Fogblade. So there are multiple things that you can do here, and it's really hard for your opponent to break this board. That is just a one card combo, keep that in mind, or two card combo depending on how you draw into it, as I mentioned before. But overall, the deck functions extremely well for what it does, and it's pretty simple and easy to play, which I think is the other best part. You don't really have to do a lot of excessive thinking. It's just minor things, you know, per the game state that kind of determine how you proceed. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And for right now, this is Team Yugi Fields signing out.